Welcome everyone to Haven of Horror. As always, I am Subject 879. We have Robert, the Hockey Mask Wild, and Noah. Welcome to Haven of Horror. As always, I am Subject 879. God damn, sorry, I was getting feedback.
I was waiting for you to give me a nickname.
and Noah, I hate fun. Aurelian.
Orwellian? Did you just call me? My name is George Orwell.
Hey, it starts with an O.
Yes, and that's all anyone will ever know.
That is correct. Happy Friday the 13th, everybody. We're here to watch, if you can believe it, Friday the 13th.
A fan voted Friday the 13th.
Yes, the audience voted. We are watching part 2.
Yes, 2.
Robert, where does this rank for you in the franchise?
I don't know. I haven't ranked these in a while. I don't know if it cracks my top 5, but it's got a shot. Like, it's in the middle somewhere. I like this movie.
It's funny because I have like a ranking in my head, and then I'll look at like my letterbox ranking, and it's different. While I'm pulling this up, Noah, where does this rank in your "I hate these movies" list?
Is slightly better than part 1, which I don't like. John and I did a ranking video of these like years ago at this point. I don't remember exactly where it was. It's probably somewhere in the middle. This is my controversial take that might get me kicked off from the channel, but I'm not really a fan of the first few Friday the 13th movies. I think
not even part 4?
Part 4, it's probably the best of them, but it's still it still has characters I don't give a shit about, and I don't care about anything that's happening. The effects are good though.
That sounds like a you problem. That's what I'm getting from that.
I vastly prefer when the series stops giving a shit about trying to be like quote unquote real movies with part 6 and just like embrace it, becomes fully self-aware. That's when I get more on board with this series. So that's probably an unpopular opinion.
I'd argue that 6 is trying to be more of a real movie than the first 5. It's got a plot.
Well, yeah, I guess I mean in terms of like tone, because like part 6
like the zombie Jason era. That's when it kicks in for you.
I mean, I will give you this, Noah. I do vastly prefer the second half of this franchise to the first half, with some outliers. Like, I don't dislike any of them, except maybe part 9. Like, I don't hate part 9, but I don't like it either. It's got a kind of a weird gray area. But like, I love part 4. This made my top 5, Robert. It was number 5 exactly.
Yeah, it's like probably 5 or 6 for me.
It was right above Freddy vs. Jason.
Okay.
Which is my number 6.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's tough because I do think this is a better film than the first one, but there are things that first movie does better than this that we can get into. So it's tough. This doesn't have Tom Savini. That's a setback. This doesn't have Savini.
It doesn't.
It doesn't have Tom Savini, and it doesn't have an actor as good as Betsy Palmer.
That's true. Though she is here for a second. You do get a little bit of
it doesn't, footage. But it has a much better Final Girl.
It does. And not reused footage, you hack. Have you even watched these movies?
What are you talking? The intro is footage from the first movie, right?
No, I'm talking about the end when you get the vision of her.
Oh.
I think they shot that at her house. They just set up a black backdrop and they're like, hey, just say these lines. They just set up a couple lights. They shot it in an hour.
Yeah, they definitely shot that at her house.
Allegedly.
One thing I will say, my favorite thing about Betsy Palmer is like, she admitted to only taking this for the first movie for gas money and like thought it was kind of trash.
Mm-hmm.
But when it became popular, she embraced it. Like, she loved doing conventions, and it's not like some of the Jason actors who were kind of ashamed to be
Yeah, I think a lot of actors in the series were ashamed at one
Well,
point.
specifically the Jason actors, you hear a lot of them. The reason they don't come back is they were ashamed of it.
Mhm.
Till Kane Hodder, that's why he's the best. He's the David Tennant of Jason Voorhees.
I get that reference.
Thank you, Noah. Anyway, so Robert, Noah, are you ready to see some people get killed?
I'm ready.
Yep.
Okay, Robert, how long is your version? I don't think the rated versus unrated is a huge difference.
It's probably about like a minute. Like I think
Is there
on
even
the
an
base
uncut version
Blu-ray,
of this?
I don't remember. The first one definitely has an uncut. I don't remember if this is uncut.
Because this
But,
is an
like, I
hour
think-
26.
Yeah, that's what mine is. And like the first one, like I don't even know if my Blu-ray has the theatrical. It might just have.
I
the
think it
uncut. I
does.
don't remember.
No,
Okay.
it does. Because it's funny, my 4K, I watched that today, when you put it in, it's like, do you want to watch the uncut or the theatrical cut?
It's
Okay.
like the uncut, obviously. That's the real movie.
Yeah.
No, is yours also an hour 26?
Yes, it is.
How are you watching this out of curiosity? Because I don't know if these are streaming.
They're. I don't think they are. But I have the first 8 on Vudu.
Oh, did you take advantage of one of those $13 deals that they threw one
Yeah.
year? Okay.
Yeah, a few years ago, I just grabbed them.
Now you got to get the last 3. 3, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a completionist with this series though.
Ooh.
But you gotta have 9, 10. Or no, sorry, last 4. 9, 10, Freddy vs. Jason, and the remake.
And then
24
out of
movies.
those, the only one I would really go back to is Freddy vs. Jason.
Wow.
Whoa! We don't
Sorry.
allow Jason X slander on this YouTube channel, sir.
I've only seen Jason X with you, John. I'm pretty
That's
sure.
not true. You
Except
watched it with Captain.
No, actually, yeah. The first time I watched it with Captain Logan, Geekvolution After Dark commentary.
Were you like, I can't believe this is real. This is too awesome.
No, it was mostly just I can't believe this is real. Full stop.
I can't
Yeah.
believe it's not butter.
Robert, he just couldn't handle how awesome that movie is.
That was my
Gotcha.
first Friday the 13th movie.
That was also my first Friday the 13th movie.
We have that in common.
Yeah. Anyway, in 3, 2,
You got the timer set up?
yes. Hold up.
Good job reminding him.
I'm getting better at it. Well, let's watch a Friday.
In
Friday.
3,
And this has been a holiday trip.
Oh shit.
2, 1, play.
Paramount. A real studio. It was very embarrassed by making these movies, but also fuck you. You kept making them.
You remember those Paramount Plus Super Bowl ads with all the like characters on top of the mountain? How come Jason wasn't there?
I want to see Jason and Stewart talking to each other.
I want to see Jason.
To be fair,
hacking up Patrick
At
Stewart.
that point, they didn't have the rights anymore.
That's great.
New Line owns them going after 8.
Okay, yeah, I'm not. I know that there's like rights issues and there's like a long history of like crazy.
That's not between studios though. That's just between Victor Miller and Sean F. Cunningham.
Okay.
Mhm.
Who owns them now?
I don't know.
It's weird because it's split even more. Because like Victor Miller owns
Get it?
A24 got them TV rights.
Okay.
Yeah.
Victor Miller owns the rights to the first film, and Pamela Voorhees, and I believe Sean F. Cunningham owns everything else.
Okay.
Which is funny because he didn't come up with anything else in the franchise. Fuck you, Sean
Yeah,
F. Cunningham.
I wasn't even thinking about the rights issues when I made that joke.
Pat Master, happy Friday the 13th. Welcome in. Happy Friday the
Happy Friday
13th. We love a good Friday. This is why these movies don't binge well.
You gotta.
Recaps.
Yeah, you gotta view these as like, you probably saw the movie once or twice in the theater. It's been a year. Some time's passed. These are kind of fun as like the '80s version of like the Universal monster movies. Like the '40s ones when they get sillier and schlockier, where it's just one every year or two, and you get a little recap. Just
No,
just kind of
I've
a
always said
yearly
that
tradition.
the slasher boom or the slasher monster is the next generation of the Universal monsters,
Yeah, for sure.
and you
Yeah.
can track them. Like Freddy is the Invisible Man, Jason is Frankenstein, Michael is it's falling
Kind of the
apart a little bit
Mummy.
here. The Mummy,
The
Dracula.
Mummy, I guess.
Chucky
But
is
yeah,
the little bastard.
this recap also functions at getting this to a movie length. That's
Yes,
a little bit of padding.
Yeah. Padding.
this transfer looks great.
Plus, it's the only good part of the first movie. So let's watch it again.
That's not true. The scene where they all try to kill a snake for like 10 minutes is hysterical.
Oh no, I hate that scene.
Oh, peak cinema.
Yeah, it's important. It's important exposition for the audience.
It is
It's
kind of
just
funny though,
convenient.
retroactively, like when you would remake this, this is the least important part of the franchise to remake.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I like about how the 2009 one does it, where it's just the opening credits.
Mm-hmm.
I totally believe you're sleeping.
Yeah, it's convenient that she's just reliving these exact moments for the audience's benefit.
It's convenient that Jason is right outside as she's thinking about this.
And you
Yeah,
can
it
tell
is this-
that when the home video boom happens because we stopped doing this after like part 4.
Mhm. No, yeah. I think 5 and 6 don't really do recaps, but then 7 does. I think 7's the last one to do a recap.
7 has a recap?
Yeah, because they get Crazy Ralph back to do it. He narrates it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That's what the remake is missing. Crazy Ralph.
Mm-hmm.
It's Camp Blood.
Remember in 3 when they have like discount Crazy Steve? Or Ralph?
His name's
Yeah.
Crazy Steve now.
He has an eyeball for no reason. We never addressed that.
No, it's for the 3D. He knows it's in 3D.
You're not gonna make me watch 3D, are you? For one
Yes.
of these commentaries.
Of course.
Yeah, we got to do commentaries on the whole franchise, Noah.
When I was rewatching this yesterday, part of me was like, "Is there a scene where a guy walks on his hands in this movie?" And I was thinking about it's part 3.
That's the next one.
Oh,
Okay.
That is a brutal
So-
kill.
Yeah. It's one of the better ones in that movie. But so we get Adrian King back as Alice, and I think she was a little surprised. Like she thought she'd have a bigger role, and they just had her for a day. It's like, oh no, you just need to walk around your apartment and then die. And she's kind of disappointed.
No, there was a thing where she didn't really want to be in the whole thing because she is going through stalker issues at the time.
That is true. She did have a
Yeah.
stalker, and that really messed up. My understanding, I've heard a couple different stories, is that she's reluctant to return, and then when she does, she's still surprised that she's in it as little as she is. She still thought she was gonna have a bigger part, and also had like no dialogue. Like we're gonna get a scene coming up of her talking to her mom on the phone. I think she's just improvising all that because she didn't have a script. So I feel really bad for her. Obviously, that she went through that experience. That really sucks. And they got her back for the new show that is now lost to showrunners. So we'll see if she's in however
See
that
that
turns
even.
out. Which
That
I
I
think is
will
cool.
say, like, I really like Jenny. I kind of wish we'd given Adrian King here more to do.
I agree, but it also kind of rectifies what I think is a mistake with the first one, because I've always felt that ending with Jason jumping out of the water and pulling her down is so good. I've always wished the movie just ended there, but then we make it a dream sequence, and it's like, oh, So in this movie, you gotta rectify that a little. And I don't know. It's like she takes out Pamela, and then Jason takes her out. Kind of the passing the torch of the killer. It's like, okay, Jason's our killer now.
Well, but she could have still done that, but give her more stuff to do.
Yeah,
I
for
don't think
sure.
her survive the end of this movie, but like more than the intro where she just exists to recap the first movie.
Honestly, just because this movie goes off in a completely different direction, I don't understand the point of bringing her back at all. Like,
It's to
this whole
give the
scene is pointless to
flashbacks,
me.
Noah.
Yeah, and Jason wants revenge. She killed his mom, so he kills her.
But couldn't we just see the flashbacks as the audience? Like, we don't need to see it from the perspective of a character from that movie.
What you're saying is you hate cinema.
I do.
But I don't know. I like said it would have been cool to give Adrian King a bigger role in this, but also, Alice was never my favorite character. Like, she's fine in the first movie, but we at least do replace her with a much better final girl. Like, on paper, I don't love this choice, but it doesn't hurt the movie for me.
Yeah, it doesn't ruin it. So it should be noted this is Steve Miner in his directorial debut. He would do this and 3. And then he did House, which I don't know if you've seen, but Noah and I watched. It's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And then his filmography kind of just like it's a bunch of stuff you never heard of. He did that movie Warlock that got a bunch of sequels. Until 1998 when he directed a little thing called Halloween H2O.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I like this movie better.
So House is the best thing he's directed.
This is better. True. This is better than House.
Oh no, House is better than this.
He also directed something, Robert, that we're going to be watching very soon. The 2008 remake of Day of the Dead.
Yay.
That's one of his last movie credits.
So he's had an interesting, varied career. But the question is this a plot hole? Do you guys buy that crazy hillbilly Jason travels across state, tracks her down, cuts off her head, and then walks back to Camp Crystal Lake?
Well, he's got teleportation powers.
Yeah, why not?
Jason, he can do anything, I buy it.
Oh, he also called her from some undisclosed location.
There's a payphone outside.
No, this Jason is a little smarter than he is in the later movies.
That's true. Like, he got her phone number somehow. Also, he's already been in here because the head is in that fridge. This is a plotting Jason.
I mean, I have that with all of them where, like, he apparently takes time to pose his victims so that when one of them runs through.
That is a Michael Myers thing, for sure.
But
this is the Halloween.
But it's ripping off Halloween.
But I will say, Steve Miner, much better director than Sean
Cunningham. Yep.
Yeah, from a technical perspective, this is a much better directed movie than the first one. The first one's got a couple good scenes and some good shots, but for the most part, it's like, yeah, this is a real amateur, clunky director. For a director on the debut, that's kind of surprising because this is a solidly directed movie.
But remember, he did like executive producer and other stuff behind the scenes on the first movie, so I'm sure he was mentored. The other problem with the first one, and it becomes really apparent on 4K, a lot of those shots are really fucking dark.
Yep.
It's hard to see sometimes.
But unfortunately with this movie, even though it doesn't have Tom Savini back, which hurts it, the gore we get isn't bad. There are a couple good kills here, but there is some pretty good gore that was cut out by the MPAA. This is the real start of that. And yeah, I don't think there's an uncut version. I think it only exists as deleted scenes. But for our first big kill coming up, the Alice one, it's fine, it's good, but so what we see coming up is Jason stabbing her in the side of the head, with a retractable like ice pick or whatever. But how they shot it is after she's stabbed, she then turns and looks at the camera, and you see it coming out the other side of her face. because they just had a prosthetic glue there,
Oh.
and it's a really effective effect.
There's
And
not
it
Betsy
just couldn't
Palmer's
happen.
head.
That is correct. So the kill's pretty good. It works for shock value. It's a bummer that like there is a really effective gore bit that they shot that's now cut
That's
out.
nice. He took the T off the.
Yeah.
He's considerate.
This is not a monster. He's just ahead of the curve.
No, it's just because he was gonna have some of that tea.
No, that is
So-
a shame that we don't see that, but that is, I think they did a really effective way of portraying that.
I also love that the title explodes.
I love these opening titles. This opening title sequence.
This is
Oh.
just like resurrection to be when you get Jamie Lee Curtis's name in the opening credits after we just saw her killed off. We just did that with Agent King. Like, yeah, you've seen Oliver. It's done, but there's her name.
And but big part of it though is just the score. This piece of music they use for the credits is so good.
I think this is where the music in the franchise starts to improve, because in the first one it's very much just like taking from Psycho. It's that score in the first one just very much sounds like Psycho. In
Well,
this,
that's
it's like
something-
some of the same influences, but it's becoming more of its own thing.
Well, and that's something we should also mention as well. I think all of these are scored by Manfredini.
Yeah, most of them. I think there's one he doesn't do. I think it's part 8. So I can fact check that.
Yes, please fact check.
Fact check.
Maybe it's
Oh, yeah.
7 or 8. It's one of those two.
Because part 8 has that song.
Yeah, that great song.
That's the only piece of music in the movie.
I can't wait for that commentary. It's gonna be
Okay,
me and
so
Robert
the-
going like, "Yeah, this is fun," and Noah's like, "I hate this."
Okay, so
Okay.
the part 8 score is Fred Mullen, whoever that is, but he worked with, I don't know, but he worked with Manfredini on the part 7 score. So then he just does part 8 stuff, and then I think they get Manfredini back to the others, and the remake's probably someone else. I don't think the remake's Manfredini.
No, I don't. I doubt it's 3, but he did. Still, 9 out of 10
Um,
films isn't bad.
Mhm.
You don't see that very often.
And now we're just remaking the first movie.
That's fine. We did this like 4 times. It's fine.
It takes talent. Yeah, we have like the exact same crew of characters. We got Crazy Ralph back.
There is a part of me that always worries that like even if we do bring this back, it won't be the same. Like we've just lost that charm of the 80s.
Yeah, even the remake has a very different vibe, and I like it. But
I mean, I like the remake here. I don't love Hunter Jason. It's fine, but
I like Hunter Jason.
That remake is also, I think, in the middle. That is number 7 for me on my list of 12.
Oh wow, I would have thought it'd be higher.
No, because I mean, I've got
That's
6, 7, 10, 4, and 2 above it, and like it's better. It's not better than any of those.
It's better than 7.
It's not better than 7.
Yeah, that is 7 has a great third act. That's
7.
That third act
7's
alone
the,
is better than
7's the Carrie
that's
one, right?
correct.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's better than the remake.
Thank
No,
you.
it's not. All the kills are cut out.
But it's got Kane Hodder. It's got a badass fight at the end.
Yeah.
I like
The
the lead
house
girl.
explodes.
That fire
No,
stunt.
Oh,
that doesn't happen in the remake.
Remake isn't
the-
schlocky enough.
I don't know. It's pretty schlocky. But yeah, it's
It
pretty-
is, but 7 is blockier.
Not as charming.
But that
No,
goes into what I was
the-
saying is
the-
I'm afraid that no matter what we do, like bringing Jason into the modern day, it's going to lose that charm of these.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I wonder if the way to do it is you do an 80s period piece.
That's what I would have done for Michael Myers. You know what this is missing from the first movie, though, Robert? That guy in Indian get up going around
Oh no!
shooting arrows at people.
John
Yeah.
wanted the racism more intact.
Yeah, we do get a comic relief, except this guy survives.
I was gonna say what I can't remember what happened to him. I think he just gets drunk in the bar.
Yeah, he just disappears with like half the group.
He's set up to be like the prankster of the group, so you'd think that would be his downfall later, and then we just kind of forget about him.
Yeah, well, we rectify that with part 3, because part 3 is the
With
Shelley movie.
Shelley.
I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't like Shelley.
I don't either.
I don't think that's a
He's
hot
great.
take. He sucks.
Yeah,
But
Oh
he's
my
kind of
God,
single-handedly the most
Shelley's
important character
back.
in the franchise.
No, that's true. It's funny though, because I was saying that I was saying earlier off stream that this is probably the most popular out of the choices that we had for the poll. Which is funny though, because I think most people don't think of Baghead Jason. Like most people forget about. I guess the general public kind of forgets about this movie.
yeah.
but
I wanted to talk about that because I feel like, as far as the general public goes, this is one of the more forgotten ones. This isn't what you think of when you think Friday the 13th. But like, if you're talking to a Friday the 13th fan, this one usually ranks pretty high.
this would come up more. Yeah.
It's funny because I was also just about to say this movie's in that weird position where it's not the first one, and then Jason doesn't become Jason until the third movie, and arguably even then he
Right.
doesn't become Jason until 4. So it's in kind of that weird middle ground.
Yeah, and 3 at least has like the 3D gimmick going for it. You know, it's at least remembered for that.
And
But
one of
1
the
and
worst
4
acting scenes I've ever seen in any movie.
It's so bad. But 1 is like, you know, that's the first one. That's the classic. You know, it's what starts this whole thing. And then 4 is like, okay, we nailed it. Like, this is the quintessential Jason movie. You know, pre-zombie Jason.
Yeah.
Even though with this movie does not do a great job explaining how we get here with Jason.
That's
You gotta
fine.
fill in the blanks yourself.
No, my favorite is in part 4 where the recap is these people sitting at a campfire.
Mm-hmm. That's the campfire scene you get later.
Oh my god, it's Mr. No Legs.
There's the guy that will end up having the best death in the movie.
Yeah.
That will be played in 2 or 3 recaps in following movies.
Yeah.
Here we get this creep.
This
That's
shot
iconic
totally isn't
shot.
sleazy.
Nope.
Also, what helps cement when this comes out is she's just wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt and they could just get away with it. You couldn't do that now. I think that's great.
Actually, you could do that now if Mickey's public domain.
Well, a very specific version of Mickey's public domain.
Oh, true.
It's got to be that Steamboat Willie version.
Yeah, they're like, give her a Steamboat Willie shirt.
So, John, I don't know if you have this. This location stands out to me so much more now after the game. And it's so much more neat, like with the Packanack Lodge, where rewatching it, it's like, oh, it's from the game. I've been there.
Yeah,
I've walked around
no.
there. It's so cool.
No, that's great.
The game has a lot of attention to detail.
Noah's like dying or something.
I'm
I thought he was dancing.
He's just so
readjusting.
excited.
I'm just
Whoa.
readjusting my laptop.
Yeah, it's because Crazy Ralph is on the screen.
I was trying to do it subtly so John doesn't bring it up. Whatever.
Jesus Christ, what are you doing?
This is going off the rails.
Oh, I love Crazy Ralph. Crazy Ralph should have been in the game.
He should have been
He should've.
a playable character.
When they make a new Friday 13th movie, we need to digitally AI resurrect Crazy Ralph. That's
Of
what will
course.
blow all the budget on. That because that's what's important.
There's Jenny.
Chennai.
Oh, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm plugging something in.
It's almost like you don't want to watch this movie.
I'm trying to escape.
Ginny is the one I'm sad didn't get a stronger strong enough career after this because I think she's a legitimately good actress.
I'm sad she didn't come back for 3.
She's not
Yeah.
bad.
That's what makes me sad is 3 is so important for like the hockey mask and all that stuff, but there is a version of 3 written where it's her in a mental institution getting stalked by Jason. I'm like, damn it, that could have been really cool. I'm kind of sad we didn't get that movie. Also, for people who hate horror movies, who hate the whole virginal final girl trope of like, oh, the promiscuous girls have to get killed and punished, but the pure one has to be the hero or whatever. It's yeah, this is one of the movies that kind of breaks that. Jenny's sleeping with her boss.
A little bit. Yeah. You don't
But
see
to
it
be
in
fair, they do that in the first
don't
movie
see it
too.
That's true. Right? It's definitely more overt here, but that is hinted at in the first one too. You know, we see Alice flirting.
Robert, apparently we have to watch the fan film Jason Rising because apparently
Oh,
Adrian King and Amy Steele are in that.
Oh, cool. There are a lot
Oh.
of fan films. I need to check some of those out.
We'll do like a fan film night. That could go well. You should check out April Fool's though. You might like it more than I did, and she's the lead in that.
That's true.
And movies like this, because you know a lot of these actors didn't go on to do a lot, makes me think about all those like forgotten, like made for TV movies that just time hasn't been kind to.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of the people in these movies, you know, it's like they wanted bigger careers than they got, and you know that very rarely do you see like a final girl in a slasher movie, you know, become a big actress. You know, Jamie Lee Curtis is the exception, not the rule. But at the same time, it's like, you know, to be in something like this that's remembered at least, you know, that has a fan base, you know, as opposed to a lot of those like really shitty direct to video things that nobody sees. It's like at least people have seen these, you know, that's kind of neat. You know, it just depends on who you are.
And it is important to note that this was made literally in 1 year.
Yep.
Which seems crazy by today's standards.
Yeah, well, that's why they kept making them, because they were cheap and very profitable. But I do like this campfire scene. I like the atmosphere.
Yeah, I like the vibe of, you know, telling scary stories at the campfire.
And again, you get a lot of exposition here, and you really didn't need that recap up front.
I guess not. But like I said before, you get to see the only good part of the first movie.
Yeah, like I said, one thing I want to get into is I think this is a better movie than the first one. It just never reaches the heights of the first one, particularly the third act, where Betsy Palmer's great. That final fight's really fun. The jump scare with little boy Jason Lake's amazing. It's iconic. You get some of the Savini gore. It's like this is a better film overall than one. It just never reaches the heights of one, at least for me.
It has those moments that stand out more. I don't know how much is that is iconography or just those moments just really work more than the whole. But
yeah, those elements elevate that movie.
Yeah,
I don't know, or why it's.
But this is this is a little bit more consistent. Yeah, even though it's a little more forgettable, arguably.
And it does a good job of maintaining that tone of the first one, because you really lose it with part 3, and then we get back to it a little with part 4, even though there is still a lot of comedy and goofiness in it. You know, this at least maintains like that tone of the first one. Like you could easily double feature 1 and 2, and they'd flow pretty seamlessly.
Except
I'm sure
somebody's the ending. You'd watch the ending of part 1 and then see it again.
They should have gone all the way. They should have the end credits part 1 during the dream sequence.
Can you imagine?
Hey, look, you don't get a Native American guy, you get caveman guy, or
Oh, true.
Some
Now, this
sort
is
of,
better.
Yeah,
It's
costume.
not racist.
Exactly. That's racist to cavemen.
No, but you wanted the racist version. We have that on camera.
Yeah, but I got a better version that's not racist. Tyler, boys, how was your streams tonight? Under the Red Hood was good. This is so far so good, except Noah keeps trying to escape. Get
Oh,
over
no.
here, boy. What's up, Tyler? Yeah, so it's funny because like I've seen this movie a few times. It's not the one I go back to the most. I forgot about this comic relief guy.
Mhm.
I do.
I
like
did not
this
watch
guy.
this in advance to prepare, by the way.
I do like that guy more than Shelley. He's just not as annoying. Shelley is so annoying and pathetic.
It's that's why I love him.
That guy's a lawyer now. Did you guys know that?
Yeah.
No.
He
Wow.
was He was very active on Twitter, like explaining the whole lawsuit and everything. It was awesome.
Yeah, they also got him back for one of the fan films. He gets a cameo as like a news reporter. Or like a mayor or something. It's really cool.
That is cool. We gotta watch more of these
This-
fan films. I loved Never Like Alone.
There's a couple good ones.
The ones that
Guys,
weird me out is when
defining-
they try to make like alien fan films. I'm like, do you really have the
Yeah.
budget for that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with Friday the 13th is these movies were cheap to begin with.
You could
Like,
do that. Yeah.
it's a lot more doable.
Tyler says not much. Just working on a side project. Friday Part 2 is better. Relatively mid in terms of the rest of the series. I in my top 5. I still consider that passing. But I'm also biased. This is my second favorite horror franchise.
No, this movie is mid.
You're mid.
That's incorrect.
Noah watches like peak cinema. Is like, oh, it's mid. And he watches some crap like The Godfather. It's like, that was the best thing I've ever seen.
No, you're right. This is better than The Godfather.
It is
I
better than
didn't
The
think about it
Godfather.
like that.
So I don't know if Robert, I know Noah probably hasn't, but I don't know if you've ever read the Percy Jackson books. But the idea of that is like
No.
Harry Potter but Greek mythology. So instead of a castle, it's summer camp called Camp Half Blood. And I always think of these because Camp Blood.
Mm-hmm. That's fun.
Those books
They
are
should have
great.
Jason show up in one of those.
I mean, there is a demigod named Jason, but not Voorhees. I knew, funnily enough, I knew a kid or guy. I would run into him just at random places in my hometown who went to either, I want to say it was summer camp or maybe it was just a therapist. I don't remember. But his name was Jason Voorhees.
That's awesome.
Oh wow.
That's what I'd name my kid if I ever had a kid.
You would change your last name to Voorhees.
No, I'd keep my last name. I'd just change his name to Voorhees.
You're my son, Jason Voorhees. Go to summer camp, scare the kids.
Remind them of a franchise that none of them know.
Yeah,
Tyler, no, it
it's
looks
funny.
like he's in a theme park ride. The way he keeps moving around the screen. Noah,
Come
stop
on, Noah.
moving.
You will often see like names
Whoa.
become less popular because of horror movies. Like Damien's a big one, where that becomes a considerably less popular name
Yeah.
after The Omen, which I think is unfortunate because that's a cool name. Like own it, like that's awesome. Like Chris R. Ruined Forever.
Who?
Oh yeah. Notorious horror film character Chris R. That's a
Oh, wait,
The
is
Room
that-
reference, John?
I haven't seen it.
It's a great
Oh,
movie.
but you've seen that scene, right?
Maybe. That's one of those movies where I've seen so many like videos on it. I feel like I've seen the movie. But I couldn't
Sure.
name like half the characters.
Is this a plot hole? Why does Ralph not follow his own advice? he gets himself killed.
I think
Why,
he
Crazy
wants
Ralph?
to. I think he really just wants to warn these kids, but he's so bad at it.
No, I think he's just kind of a perv.
That too.
He looks so sad though.
He was gonna warn them, but then he got distracted when he saw them making out.
Damien is a bad name.
R.I.P.
The worst Robin. That's not the worst Robin.
Where were you for our Under the Red Hood commentary? We were talking about the Robins.
He's Australian, so probably sleeping.
Oh no.
Sleep is overrated. Beware of bears.
Oh, they don't let wheelchair guy participate. That's kind of mean.
Someone can push him. Run along with him.
He's great though. I think maybe this has a better ensemble of camp counselors than the first one. I think these actors are a little better.
They're about as fleshed out.
Tyler says, "My bad, Noah. I was sleeping. I'll be more considerate next time."
Yeah. Don't sleep.
No. I think these guys are a little more fun than the crew in part one. Ginny's a much better final girl than Alice. And then, I mean, one, you do get Kevin Bacon, but he also doesn't get a lot to do. It's
Kevin
just like, hey,
Bacon.
that's Kevin Bacon. And now he's dead. Like, he doesn't get to do a lot.
Tyler says
you're right.
Victor Salvia was probably a lot less popular after Jeepers Creepers came out.
Oh, God. That is correct.
Oh.
I'm sure he was. Noah, do you know about that?
I know about the director of Jeepers Creepers.
That's who that is, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, yeah. I didn't know his name, but
That's a good movie. It's just directed by Scumbag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's a good.
Judging
edit,
on
by the
Robert's
way.
face,
That's
I'm gonna
good
make
edit
him do
for the
that commentary on his own.
I've never seen it.
Oh,
But
It's not high on the
Rob-
list.
Robert, to your point earlier, you're right. The characters in this, in the first one, they were 0-dimensional, but in this, they're 1-dimensional, so they are a little bit better. Like her defining character trait is that she has a dog
Named Muffin.
named Muffin,
And
and she stops being concerned for it because lunch is ready.
God damn, one thing I can't stand is terrible pet owners in movies.
Yeah.
I have no sympathy for this character. You
Yeah.
don't take a tiny dog like that to a camp and let it just wander around.
perfect.
That's
Tyler will do the Jeepers Creepers commentary with you.
All right.
That's
And
the
no,
thing
this is called
that's
setup and payoff. They're showing the chainsaw, so we'll bring
Oh,
it
they
back.
do, yeah. Oh no, you're right.
Deep
This is a good
fighting.
movie. This is a good.
Thank you.
Tyler, Noah, what is your background? Noah
It's
is
just,
house shy.
It's just a stock Discord background. I have it for when we do our Batman videos because it makes me feel like I'm in the Batcave.
So what's your excuse for doing Friday the 13th?
He's in the Jason cave.
I'm in the Jason cave.
This is exactly what his shack looks like. This is a little
That's
base
true.
of operation.
That's how he knows where to go at each moment. He's got cameras everywhere. He's watching.
That's not true. I saw the remake. He has little strings that ring bells.
Yeah.
So Robert, I think you mentioned it, but did you ever actually get to kill Jason in the game?
I never did. I got to participate, but every time I tried, I'd fuck it up, or the game would fuck me up. Or it'd have a
Yo,
terrible
Jared
debate.
Gearhart is here and almost on time.
Hello.
He didn't come in at the end this time.
I think at least once I was at least the person with the sweater who got to stun Jason and someone else killed him. So I at least got to contribute at least once. Did you ever get to kill Jason?
Yes. Once.
That's all.
I love how complicated it is.
It is. It's amazing.
You know what my nitpick with that game is, though?
Hmm.
So if you play as Part 5 Jason and your mask is knocked off, it acknowledges that it's not Jason. But why does he still hear Pamela's voice?
I don't know. They should have rigged it so that there's like that bed of spikes next to the barn, and you have to lure him to the top of the barn. That is the only way to kill Roy Jason in that game.
Imagine if you played as Roy Jason instead of Pamela. You heard the kid from the beginning of that movie.
Great.
Chocolate.
I would love that.
Oh, they're going off on their own.
So how far is this camp from Crystal Lake?
Yes.
Okay.
It's that way.
It is that way.
What do you want from
Jason's
us?
Jason's able to get through, like, travel back and forth between both places pretty quickly.
He's gonna go to New York. He's a journeyman.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a lot of miles behind him.
Well,
I do think you could make a
teleportation powers.
I do think you could make a really cool movie out of just like Jason not being able to go to the camp and just like on the road.
Guys, Muffin's not looking too good.
Oh. But that's not Muffin. Spoilers.
Jared says Roy is a method actor, obviously. Of course.
Okay, it's really confusing. I think it is supposed to be a muffin because when we see it at the end of the movie, that is a dream sequence. So I think
true.
Muffin is dead, which makes me sad.
God damn it! Yeah, no. So this movie does kill the dog. Why am I supposed to
this
like?
Jason sucks. Fuck.
Why am I supposed to like this movie? Kills a dog.
Robert, have you ever read any of the Friday novels?
No.
So I had two. One was okay. It was like Jason leading an army out of hell that I wasn't too into. But the other one I had one of the greatest titles I've ever heard. It is Church of the Divine Psychopath. And this church, I'm still waiting for somebody to turn this into a movie because it's an awesome premise. This church finds Jason's dead body and decides that he is the judgment of God, and they want to resurrect him so that he can punish all the sinners. And they do, and then he kills all of them.
That's actually perfect.
Tyler says, I was at work yesterday and some guy turned around and said, I only find Friday the 13th scary when it's Halloween. We don't have that over here, but still, what the fuck?
No.
That was a roller coaster of a story.
Like, he only finds the movies scary around Halloween time?
Wait, do you guys not have Halloween? Is that a US only thing?
Well, it's not US only, but I don't know if it's an Australian thing.
No.
I don't know.
He just said that a guy at his work said that he only finds them scary.
But he says we don't have that over here.
What?
Wait, Tyler, are you saying no, you don't have Halloween in Australia?
How are you guys not riveted by Sheriff Man chasing Hillbilly Jason through the woods?
Who cares?
I mean, I like Sheriff Man. He has a cool death.
Why do you like Sheriff Man?
Because he gets the Halloween 2 death that comes out the same year.
Oh.
Is it the same year?
I like this character 81. Because of how he dies.
It's like a cop or a security guard or something with Halloween 2. He gets the exact same death with the hammer to the back of the head.
Gareth Gerhardt, that book sounds amazing. The only Friday book I have is called Mother's Day. It is amazing, and I'm really sad that I don't have my copy anymore because they're out of print and really expensive. But the best thing is, Robert, the covers were all just like unused like production stills or something from Jason X of Jason.
That's awesome.
Oh, he thought Halloween was on the 13th of October because they don't have Halloween there. You poor deprived bastards.
It is on the 13th of October. Or 31st. Never mind.
Are you okay?
We need to stop saying things. Hey guys, it's the shack from the game. Dude, don't go in there. Jason's gonna be alerted.
Do you think this movie ripped off the game?
Yes. At least Jason keeps a tidy living quarters. It's got a toilet.
And we'll never see the shack again.
That's true. Except for recycled footage in part 3.
Tyler, we don't have it as in like no one does trick or treat or dresses up or anything, but it's just known as a day. It's like Independence Day. No matter, but it's not relevant. So I just watch a horror movie. Gerhardt says the Friday book I have is from like the late '80s. Oh, that's cool. I know some of these book movies got novelizations.
Okay, Noah, this scene is like the scene in X when we see the guy early on look into a room and he's scared of something, but we don't know what he's seeing. And then later we're gonna pay that off by having a main character see what this cop character's seeing. Like they're both the same movie; they're equal quality.
Yeah.
No, you're right. When you put it like that,
I mean, I would watch this over X, and I love X.
They're both great movies.
This year I am hosting a superhero party, but it is on exam time, so it will be on the 27th.
How do you guys feel about Paul's wardrobe?
I never thought about it until just now.
What is he dressing for? Christmas?
Yeah, he's got Christmas colors.
What do you think about her wardrobe? Do you think that's allowed when the kids show up? Is that
probably not
into the dress code? Yeah, look at all these characters, 2/3 of which will not be killed off and will just leave the movie. Because this movie doesn't have that high a
I was
body.
gonna say, this movie has a bigger cast than I remember. I forget how many just disappear.
Yeah, they go into town and never come back.
I will say one thing this movie does succeed at is like I really like wheelchaired guy and this girl that he's like trying to get with.
Yeah, and
That's kinda sweet.
she is the sister of Rob from part 4, who will attempt to avenge her death. I'm not going to say if he succeeds or not, but he tries.
Go watch our commentary if you'd like to know. How does the wheelchair stay up when he is killed? You will have to watch and find out. It's awesome. And very mean-spirited.
It is.
Also, I don't know if you know this, Robert. The guy playing wheelchair guy is gay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of ironic that his only goal in this movie is to get laid.
Yeah, I remember because the girl is, and I think he passed away at some
I think
point.
he did too.
It's really sad, but the girl was interviewed in one of the documentaries and talked about how like doing the scenes flirting with him, like she actually did have a crush on him, and then found out he was gay, and she was like, "Damn it!" Like, oh well. But she seemed really cool.
Yeah.
I will say this movie is flying by compared to the last time I watched it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it with people.
That's
well, you
true.
would say that when this scene comes up.
Oh, what? Oh.
This is a much better paced film. I will give you that.
Yes. Oh, so much. That's the thing. Parts of that first movie drag.
But you don't enjoy watching Strip Monopoly for like 20 minutes?
No, playing a game for 4 hours just to see some boobs only to end up broken in jail does not sound like my idea of a good time. I'm quoting, by the way. I did not come up with that bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at this town. It's all alive. It's just a real location. We shot it somewhere. It's funny though how like cheap movies back then you could just like go to a store, go to a town, and just film wherever the fuck. And now it's like you got to do everything on green screens, and it looks so much worse.
Okay,
be
boomer.
like The Room and just shoot on a rooftop with a matte painting.
Exactly.
And now for the portion of the stream where Robert rants about the special effects.
I mean, this scene's fine.
You would say that.
What special effects? There's no effects in this scene.
That's not actually her body. That's just CGI, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out and look for my dog. Oh wait, there's a body of water. I must
have to
strip
swim
naked and
naked.
swim.
Which, according to movies, is just a thing people do. I can't say this is a real thing or not. I'm just assuming that, yes, people alone in the middle of the night in the freezing cold will just skitty
Movies
it.
would never
Yeah,
lie to
sure.
me. Tyler, Robert, how was the box set, and what is the best feature?
Oh, that's a good question. I still need to watch through more of the special features. John
Me
has this
too.
box set too. It's great.
Yeah,
It's got all 12 movies. They look beautiful. Got, this is the part 2 one. You get reversible covers. That's cool.
I'm so
Spoiler alert
sad
for
that the
ending.
reversible cover for that one is such a downgrade compared to some of the others.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is an actual poster. It's just
Yeah,
the title.
I've used
But
I use the part 1 reversible art because it's awesome.
oh, this one's got an interview with Amy Steele. I should watch that.
And it's got a
some
whole
footage
disc
from,
of bonus feature.
yeah, and also just some footage from like a horror convention. You don't do fun stuff like that anymore.
Yeah, I've
It's like
watched
just
some of the
weird
special features.
random
I do need to watch more of them. No, I mean that is the definitive like Friday collection. Part of me still
And
wants that metal one that they put out a few years ago because it's got part 9 Jason on the front.
the best thing about this set is you get great artwork, and every movie individually is in a case like that. You don't have a nightmare box with 20 discs shoved together. Like, no, each movie gets its own case. Very nice.
And are those the McFarlane
recommend.
toys? He asks.
Yeah, I'm a big McFarlane toy collector. On our part 4 stream, I had my NECA Friday 13th part 4 Jason out. I didn't get it out for this one because
You bastard.
But yeah, I do collect McFarlane toys. I got a bunch of Batman ones.
But no, I was really bummed. I remember being really bummed because that steel set had went out of print. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
And then they announced that one. I was like, sold.
Yeah. Yeah, because before this set, I think that was the only way you could get all 12 movies together. But this I get. When did the Scream Factory box set come out? This was what,
Just
like
a
5
couple years
ago?
Has it been that long? Yeah, I guess it
Maybe
has.
3.
Wow,
But
that metal
I-
box set is still going for $120.
That's insane. Yeah, if this is still gettable, you should get it if you're a Friday the 13th fan.
Yeah, it's not out of print yet. I thought about getting a second set just to have a backup, but
Yep. And now, John, I know you're not as much of a fan of survivalist Jason as I am. I like it, and you get that in this movie. He's got the traps. This is where we get a trap. We don't do that as much later. Jason does get dumber in the later movies, but that's why I like remake Jason. I like Jason who's a little smarter.
I like it better here because there's still those characteristics. The remake just takes it a bit too far. I didn't need the booby trap camp and the underground mine tunnels to explain how we can get from place to place so quickly.
I think it's fun.
I don't hate it. It's just not my preferred take. I like this kill that we're about to come up with, though.
Yeah, it's okay. I was going to say this poor guy, but nah, he deserves it.
Tyler, I have the DVDs because we only got them 5 years ago, but I can't get those ones because they're Region A. I have a box set that was cramming them into one set. Oh, I bet you he has really cheap. Is it all 12 or is it just the first 8? Because Paramount keeps re-releasing the first 8 in different sets.
Mm-hmm. I might get the one with the first 8 just because it has the digital codes too. So
I mean, if you're gonna do that, just buy the digital copies today. It's $13. They're on sale.
That's true. But I also like owning multiple copies of movies I like. Word like that.
If I was gonna do that, I wouldn't buy that set. It looks like it was made for $1.
There was one that was kind of cool though that had a red case.
Do you think she was told specifically to walk fast enough that her chest would bounce?
Yes.
Yeah. Are you aware of how sleazy these movies are?
And oh no, she got off screen to death.
Forgot about
She was
that.
edited out of the movie.
First day, and then the next they're in a box set, and then the remake. Okay, I didn't know they did a New Line box set.
There is a 3-pack that I might get just to get the Nightmare remake for whenever we cover that, because there's a new line 3-pack that's got Freddy vs. Jason, the Friday the 13th remake, and then the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I'll probably get that at some point.
I will not be
you
buying that movie
guys-
physically.
You guys, good luck with the Nightmare remake.
You're gonna be there,
It's your
motherfucker.
favorite movie.
I don't know where this came from, but apparently it's
Noah.
my favorite movie.
Noah, you are obligated to be there.
I signed no contract, sir. I will be there for the first one.
You will be there for both. Although, Robert, I say that I think they've come out with a steelbook 8-movie collection now.
Oh.
Yes, they have. It's a little pricey, and I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to. You're not gonna be able to see that.
Just send me the.
I've sent you the link. I might have to buy this. I will have 3 copies of the first 8 of the first movie, but it's okay.
If it has the digital copies, that would be an incentive for me.
Yeah, check that out.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have seen this. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So I like this scene a lot with Jenny, where we get to know her interest in psychology and figuring out Jason. It's just really funny and convenient that she turns out to be right.
Okay, I'm gonna fight you a little bit on that one.
Okay.
She's using basic psychology. It's not just a guess. Like, she's using her education. She is educated in this.
But to these characters, Jason's just an urban legend.
Right, but she's profiling an urban legend, but the legend that they're telling is true. It's not like the legend gets it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
If the legend was a completely different story. Jared Gearhart, the one that has the first 8 movies, is nice. They put 2 movies on one Blu-ray, makes it easier to marathon. Yeah, so does the digital copies. It's like she read the script, says Jared. I don't know. That's a little too much into CinemaSins territory for me.
No, I just think it's funny. Like, it doesn't bother me. The evidence these characters have is Pamela went crazy because her son died, and then Pamela died, and then the girl who killed Pamela was killed at some point or disappeared, and now there's just this urban legend of Jason running around killing people. Of it, it's just funny that it turns out to.
I will meet you in the middle and say it's more funny that the legend is like exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I think, more of an issue, not her correctly detailing him just from knowing what happened in the last movie. So something that I can't remember if it's this or 3, but something that doesn't get talked about a lot enough is that one of his victims was pregnant. I think it's in this one. Maybe it's in 3.
Yeah. No, that's 3. It feels really mean-spirited and wrong for this series, and it doesn't go anywhere.
Well, 3 has a lot of that, because that 3 is also the one with that weird, like, Jason may have assaulted a girl.
Yeah, it's really weird how, like, on paper that one's a lot meaner and more twisted than these first 2, but in execution it's so much goofier.
Yeah, Karen, I was quoting Mr. Plinkett just to be funny. No, I'm just debating Robert. Yeah.
You go from debating Robert to debating the audience.
To debating Noah, because he's wrong.
Well, that's just true.
I mean, you're always debating me and Robert. Either both of us or one of us.
Noah, you weren't riveted by this serenading harmonica scene?
Who cares?
So, do you guys know about the controversy with this actress?
Wasn't she underage?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so this is one of the deleted scenes that'll never get put back in. It's because there used to be explicit nudity here, but then they found out later that this actress lied about her age and was actually under 18. So they immediately cut it out. So, and by all accounts, that footage was destroyed. So that's never getting put back in. Like,
that's good. That's
Well,
that's
we
good.
We don't need to see that.
it reminds me of I don't remember. I think we've talked about this, but I can't for the life of me remember. If you're that '70s show fan, but Mila Kunis also lied about her age to get that role.
Mm-hmm.
She's like 14 during that first season.
Yeah, which is wild. She's the only one who's actually like the age of the character she's playing.
Yeah, and it's funny because in comparison, she looks too young. Like she's too much of a baby face.
Mm-hmm.
Topher Grace kind of looks the right age.
Yeah. Well, him and Donna, I mean, they were both probably what, like 18 or 19 in real life when that show starts. So like they were close enough.
Why did you take one shirt off just to put another one on?
It's because this sweater's sexier, I guess. In the 80s, I don't know.
Specifically in the 80s.
She also changes her panties for some reason. I'm not sure why.
That one at least makes more sense. Like you're thinking you're gonna have sex, you want to put on one that you think you'll like. That's a common trope.
Yeah, but instead she puts on a big sweater.
The best time to wear a striped sweater is all the time.
That is very true. Words of wisdom. We will be watching that instead.
Don't spray down there.
The other scene they cut is him going down on her and then and she bled down here. It's about building suspense. It's a very tense scene. She's being
about
watched.
drive. It's
She
about
doesn't know.
power.
More power.
Ow?
It's only about building suspense.
Yes.
Okay.
I used to watch Home Improvement religiously, so anytime somebody says more power, that's all I can think of. Noah, what the fuck are you doing?
I'm just adjusting. Anyway.
We don't think you're invested enough.
I'm getting restless.
No, I liked Home Improvement a lot when I was a kid too. I've seen the whole show.
I've actually only seen clips of that show when it was on like reruns and stuff. I never watched a full episode.
It's a good show. I mean, you have to like 90s sitcoms, but
yeah.
I just remember that you never saw their neighbor's face.
You know there was a reason for that.
What's the reason?
He had some kind of cancer and had like really bad surgery done on his lower jaw.
Really? The actor?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was just like a fun running gag, but there's a serious reason for it.
But
while you're doing research, we're at the best kill of the movie.
No, he'll be fine.
Oh, wait a minute.
He could be
okay.
alive.
Hold on, Lucas.
And no.
And that is how the wheelchair.
That is the only time he uses a machete in this movie, I think.
Well, and he cut the other guy's throat, and both times they used the wrong side.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you noticed the wrong side of Eddie's in it.
Jared Gerhardt says, I got to see almost the whole cast at a convention. Somebody asked about that scene with changing the clothes.
So this scene is, besides the wheelchair death, easily the most iconic kill from this movie, the double kill in the bed. It's also just a ripoff from, I think it's called The Bay of Blood. That 70s slasher movie. I still need to see that one. But another one cut down a lot from the MPAA because, and you can find the deleted footage of this where they actually made like a fake body that you see the spear go through. And here it's all off screen.
Okay, so no, I take back what I said. That must have been like an urban legend that I heard as a kid, because I cannot find anything to support that.
I didn't want to actually, because in my head I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's not true, but I'm not going to say anything.
Yeah, I must have heard that somewhere as a kid, and I was like, oh, okay, that's true, I guess. So there's also a lot of controversy about this scene because supposedly they just stole this from another movie called Twitch of the Death Nerve.
Also called The Bay of Blood,
Yes.
which I just mentioned.
Oh, sorry. I was researching. I wasn't listening.
Yeah, that movie has multiple titles.
I've seen Bay of Blood. It's pretty good.
Cool. That's on my watch list.
Robert, at this point, what is not on your watch list?
Hatchet.
Oh. I like how
I half expected you to say Buffy just to be a dick.
I like how this bar got more crowded as they were about to leave.
Yeah, this is New Jersey. It's a happening town.
I like that the slashers are spread out. It's like a comic book world. You got Jason in Jersey, Freddy in Illinois. No, Michael in Illinois.
Cali guy.
No, Michael definitely.
No. Yeah, Michael is Illinois. They shoot it in California, but it's Haddonfield, Illinois. You're right.
Oh, where Freddy is actually. Now that I think about it. Oh, Freddy's in Ohio.
Okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
Who's in Canada? Who's our Canada the Black Christmas guy?
Yes. Oh, Robert, we're gonna get to make Noah watch the 2006 remake of Black Christmas this year.
Oh, that'll be fun. And am I gonna
watch the original?
Am I gonna make both of you guys watch the 2019 version?
I'm down. I own it.
It's. Have you seen it? I don't
know.
It's so bad.
I got it for free. I just haven't brought the.
Are we doing a triple feature?
Yes.
You refuse to own the Nightmare on Elm Street.
You guys can do that.
But you own a copy of Black Christmas 2019.
Yeah, because I got it for free. That's the key word there.
Oh, God,
if somebody gave me a copy of Nightmare 2010, I'd keep it because it was free.
Oh my God.
So how do you guys feel about Baghead Jason?
I think he's fun.
I think it's fine. He's creepy.
I like the psycho, the like Halloween / psycho shots.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he have paint on his nail?
Because it's scary. It's how he looks like a dirty hillbilly with our makeup budget. No, he looks silly. Like, this is definitely one of the least intimidating Jason. He's a lot scarier in the first half when you don't get a good look at him. But for just one movie, I think it's fine. The Baghead Jason we get looks a lot cooler. And he was
cut out there a little bit. Baghead in the what?
In the remake.
Oh, yeah.
I think he looks a lot.
It's also harder to see. They light it better.
Mm-hmm. And I think Baghead Jason looks better in the game because it's this design, but on Kane Hodder's body.
Yeah.
So he's like 7 feet tall. This Jason's just not that intimidating.
Have you read Kane Hodder's biography?
I have not.
It's very interesting. He talks about the burn incident that he had. I don't know if you knew about that.
Oof. Yeah, I've heard.
And he really goes into depth of like Hatchet kind of saved him from the bottom of the barrel after losing Jason. He was like really bummed.
Hmm.
Gerhardt said, "I love Baghdad." What?
I think he meant Baghead.
That's unintentionally really funny. Jason, even though it is just a ripoff of the town that dreaded sundown, yeah, that's a pretty
That is
solid
correct.
flick. I kind of want to see the sequel slash remake that they made.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even hear about it until I watched the first movie.
So this is a trope that we come back to in some Friday movies, but not others. But especially some of the later ones, like Part 8, 7, and 8, where we have a couple at the end. Especially I love Ginny. I don't care about Paul.
Where's
And it's really
Paul?
weird. I don't know why this character we make a big deal out of his fate being ambiguous, because I don't care.
Yeah, no, it's funny. It's like even the movie doesn't care. They're just like, well, he just at some point disappeared. No, the greatest one of these is at the end of part 3 where he gets his hands on whatever that guy's name is and like squeezes his head so you can see the eyeball pop out, but you can see it's on a
And
string.
it's
Yeah,
such a terrible effect.
that's
but it's
such
so
a
funny.
good effect. It's so good.
Paul, what you're supposed to be saying is, he's killing me. He's killing me. Oh god, he's killing me.
I also can't think of Paul without thinking of the monkey from Jimmy Neutron. Hi, I'm Paul.
I'm
I'm
Paul.
Paul.
I like that you just left him in there.
Yeah, she's smart. Fuck that guy.
We need more redheads in horror films.
This is a great fake out, or not really a fake out, but a good jump scare with the window. I like this gag.
Yeah, Friday the 13th has always been pretty smart about its jump scares.
Mhm.
It doesn't rely on them. And the end of the first movie is in my opinion, one of the greatest jump scares in like cinematic history.
It is. And then the end of this one really tries to repeat it, and it's fine. It's just not as good.
Part 3 is embarrassing.
That's the worst one. That one is insane.
Noah, do you remember that?
Is it just the canoe again?
It's the canoe again,
Yeah.
but this time it's Mrs. Voorhees' like deep rotting corpse comes out of the lake.
Oh yeah.
Who is never mentioned in that movie. Our protagonist has never heard of Mrs. Voorhees and has a dream about her killing
She has a dream about her.
My favorite is part 7 where the like clean looking dead dad comes out of the lake.
Oh god. Even the director was so disappointed. He was like, "Oh, I wish we had more time to shoot that and had better makeup because that's so bad."
Yeah. It's kind of fun that like the pitchfork has he just been holding on to Ralph's body this entire time for that?
Of course.
It's kind of cool that like the pitchfork is his weapon in this movie.
Yeah, it's that and the pickaxe.
He's got a pickaxe too. Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end.
Tyler says, "Boys, I'm back. Welcome back." Because I think you and I have talked about this, but oftentimes Jason is thought of as like a machete wielder. But he's not really like he has one, but
Yeah,
he's kind of a jack of all trades.
Yeah, totally. More so than Michael. Like Michael will use different weapons, but like 80% of the time it's the kitchen.
It's like a kitchen knife. And I think that's kind of what separates them is like because Jason is they're willing to let Jason just use whatever's around. You get more creative, inventive kills, even though Jason and Michael are both mute killers.
Yeah. And in the remake, you get Jason with a bow and arrow, which I like just because it fits the camp aesthetic.
I think a little different. I'm not anti slashers using a gun. I think sometimes it can break a bit of an unwritten rule.
Well, I think the bow and arrow fits Jason.
Yeah.
Michael or Freddy with the bow and arrow would be weird.
Does he use a bow and arrow in 3 or something?
No, you're thinking of the harpoon gun.
Oh, the harp. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the James Bond shot.
which is one of the greatest like 3D shots of all time. You missed the wheelchair kill.
Yeah.
She just kicked Jason in the nuts. And that will, if this was part 3, that would have no effect. I also love that between 2 and 3, he loses all of his hair.
Yep. And it's not explained. And like I said, I think 1 has a better climax because Betsy Palmer's so great, but this one is shot better. There's a lot of handheld running around the camera. Like the stuff looks really good. It's well choreographed.
It probably does. My problem with the climax of the first one, even though it is the best part of that movie, is that there's so many start and stops.
It goes on too long.
Yeah. This one is always moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Robert, what is your favorite McFarlane figure?
Ooh, that's a tough question. What would I have? I've got some good ones. I will say I got this one pretty recently. This one's pretty great. The Ben Affleck BVS batsuit.
Oh,
You know, I'm not a big fan of that movie, but I like that batsuit, and this figure is pretty good.
it's a good batsuit.
How much did that
Good
cost you,
details.
if you don't mind me asking?
This one I was lucky. I found it in store. This is $25. That's a pretty standard price. So
I don't collect
If you're lucky,
action
you can-
figures, but I kind of want that.
if you're lucky, you can find those for like 20. But the NECA ones are the pricey ones. Those are usually like 35 to $40. So I don't have many. I've got a few.
Tyler says, what are your thoughts on the remake? I think the remake is the perfect way to remake this movie. It is better than some of the later entries. It is worse than some of the earlier entries. It's in the middle. But it is the quintessential boiled down Friday the 13th, like the first, if you like the first 4 movies.
The main thing the remake is lacking for me is it could use more quirky, weird, fun characters. It's too many like frat
That's
bro
Yeah.
stereotypes. Like I like Jared Padalecki, you know, he plays the straight man in it. Like he's a good
The,
hero.
I can't think of his name, but you get the comedy side duo with
Yeah, and they're a little too frat guyish for me.
okay.
They're not like Crispin Glover.
Yeah.
You know, they're not quirky in that way.
It does have one of the greatest lines in all of cinema. These tits
That
are
is true.
stupendous.
Stupendous.
It's a great scene.
Connor loves that line, so every time we talk about that movie, I have to bring it up. Robert, I don't know if I ever told you my embarrassing story with that remake. So that comes out before I am old enough to go by myself to see rated R movies.
I think you have mentioned this, but go
I
ahead.
bet my grandma take me to see that.
Why did you do that?
Because nobody else would take me.
How angry was she with you?
Oh, she didn't care. I've been allowed to watch those kind of movies since I was like 13.
That's cool.
Yeah.
John, that's when I knew we were gonna be friends. When we were gonna hit it off. It's on. It was one of our Smallville streams with Cap. So this is like a year ago. I don't remember how we were talking about movies. Like somehow like the remake came up, and I don't remember how we got here, but I said something about like, I thought the girl in the remake that was pretty stupendous, and it made you laugh. And I was like, he gets it. And Cap had no idea. Like, he was just like, whatever. But I just threw it out there. I was like, I thought the girl in the remake was pretty stupendous.
Stupendous.
And it made you laugh because you knew exactly what I was talking about.
Oh, man, that's great.
Jenny, just shoot him in the head.
No, it's funny because I also
Yeah,
had similar. It was
boomstick.
like, this guy likes Smallville and Friday the 13th. Like, let's go from there.
It's quite a bit in common.
Then why are you friends with me? I don't like either of those things.
I don't know.
No, I kind of like Friday the 13th, just not as much as you guys.
I will say this transfer looks a lot better than the transfer of the first one.
Yeah, well, the first one, a lot of it's just shot and lit so shittily. Like, I don't know if you can make that any better. It's that's the best you're gonna get.
Tyler, that's nothing. I had to watch Midsummer with my grandparents, so we had no idea there was.
Oh no!
Okay, that's one scene. I would argue Friday the 13th, 2009 is worse to watch with your grandparents.
Probably.
Well, that's
And,
one
uh,
scene too, right?
No, because you've also got the like really awkward sex scene at the beginning.
Yeah, there's a couple.
I
of
don't
them.
even remember that.
It's during the like 20-minute intro.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because you follow like a completely different group of characters before you
And the sex scenes in Friday the 13th 09 are way more sleazy.
And we lied when we said that Adrian King was only in the opening. There she was. She's a skeleton on the floor.
That's definitely her.
Yeah, one of those dead bodies is supposed to be Alice. So Jason
Tyler says, I think
Adrian
that line
King.
got changed in our addition to You've Got No, he says that too.
Great line. This scene is great. I like her putting on the sweater and trying to get in his head. That's what I said in our part 4 commentary. Is the ending of that movie is good, but it's trying to do this again. This just did it better when little Tommy Jarvis is like disguising himself as Jason and trying to get in his head. Like it's just a repeat of this. This one just works better.
Yeah, for sure.
And now we have stupid Jason.
No, but I do like that though, that this is Jason in a way is the most human of the slasher monsters.
Well, besides Leatherface.
Him and Leatherface are the most.
I'd say Jason a little more so.
Pathetic, I'd say.
And I think it's just because Jason is more tragic.
Sure, he's got a more tragic backstory, but Leatherface just has a tragic life.
Robert, your mother is talking to you.
This is great.
Filmed this at her house.
That's what's cool though. And again, this is why 1 and 2 work so well as a pair, because you get Crazy Ralph back, you get Alice back, you get a nice little Betsy Palmer cameo. There's some nice connective tissue to the first movie that they work as a pair.
This is the perfect 80s sequel where it's the first movie again, but in this case better.
Yeah.
And even these like shot in her living room Betsy Palmer scenes are working for me.
Man.
And I love the set with Pamela's severed head with the candles, everything. It's all great.
Oof.
Oh yeah, he's still here.
How could you forget Paul?
He re-enters the movie in a close-up of him running towards the camera.
This is what's funny too, is like I don't know when the switch happens, is we're gonna get a dream sequence reveal later. Like I don't know when Jenny falls asleep.
Yeah. I was
don't
confused
know how much
about
this is
that.
real.
Is any of this real? I remember
Am I
part
real?
3 open. I remember part 3 opens with this scene, but I don't think it
Yeah.
shows the dream sequence after this.
No. Because I think in the opening of part 3, we go from this to a new shot of Jason on the floor, like getting up and picking up the machete, and then the rest of the movie starts.
Yeah.
Even though 3 doesn't explain how, I guess he just sewed up that shoulder being split.
I mean, he also takes an axe to the head at the end of 3 and is fine. Oh, if you guys are interested in A Violent Nature, hit Shudder.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
I didn't love that movie, but it's got some of the coolest kills I've seen in a while. I'd do a commentary on that.
I felt like that would have been up your alley, because it seems like it's just a movie about Jason Voorhees living his life.
Yes, but the problem with that is that means that 90% of the movie is just a guy walking around in the woods.
That sounds amazing.
I don't know. Jason is like, that's cool. He's cool as the antagonist that shows up at key moments. If you make him the protagonist of the film that's on screen all the time, It's not
He's
very
the
good.
best character in all of these movies, so why not?
To be fair,
Uh,
a lot of these movies are just walking around in the woods.
that's true.
I'd rather
Maybe
walk around. I'd rather walk around in the woods with a character I like than these people.
maybe I should watch that movie again. Maybe I'll like it better on a second viewing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jared,
I
how would
haven't seen it,
everyone
so I don't know
rate
how
Friday the
fair for me.
13th films? For me, most of them are 3s to 3.5. My top 5 are all probably about 4 out of 5s for me.
Yeah, my favorite is part 4, and I'd probably give that a 4
after a certain point, it becomes hard to rate them just because, like,
out of 5.
I don't know how I feel.
My favorite is part 6, which I'd probably give either like a 3 or a 3.5.
That's a 3.5 at least, I think.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Guys, something's scratching at the door.
Scratching at the door.
And here's
Yeah,
the
like
thumbnail.
I gave part 5, which is my 8th favorite, 3.5. So that just shows like how many of these I rate pretty highly.
I would give part 5 5 stars.
I never noticed this before. So the pitchfork is broken in half. Jenny gets the pointy end, and Paul just has the handle. I've never noticed that before.
He's gonna
That's
whack
his
him with the
weapon.
handle.
That's so good. Oh my god, Muffin's alive.
Muffin.
Or is she?
The world may never know. They should if you end up doing Halloween 2018 to this, set it right after this movie. Bring Jenny back.
I'm down.
Bring Muffin back.
Bring Muffin back.
Jump scare.
I really don't like this Jason design.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah. It's better than part 8.
What's funny is so I think this is the first Jason actor they hire for this movie, and this is the first scene they shoot with him, and it takes like 8 hours because they're just rigging this and doing it over and over because he's on like a harness and like swinging through that window. And after like an 8-hour day of filming this, he was like, "Fuck this," and they just got a new Jason actor.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Because it was a nightmare to shoot.
One, the new Jason actor talks about that Jenny, the actress that plays Jenny, accidentally hit him in one of the takes of that final showdown.
Yes.
So he had to like go to the hospital in full makeup.
Yeah, she nicks his arm.
Tyler, Noah, and Robert, what are your favorite horror franchises?
Let Noah go first.
Evil Dead.
None of them.
Evil Dead.
That's it?
That's something.
That's mine too.
That's another. Okay, so all 3 of us. It's Evil Dead.
That's the number one. That's the gold standard. So this final shot is great. If you notice, if you think the makeup looks weird, it's because that's an actual lady under a table. Because the original plan for this ending was she was gonna open her eyes, and that was gonna be the cliffhanger shock ending. And they thought, nah, that's too dumb. Let's just cut it. Let's freeze frame. And I think they made the right call. That's the line.
That's the
line.
line.
What does that mean? Like the severed head of Pamela Voorhees. She opened her eyes.
Is that any dumber than? Is that any dumber than a little boy drowned in a lake and then somehow is a zombie and then is alive and then becomes a fully grown man in 5 years?
I don't know.
We're gonna draw the line there. That's Friday the 13th Part 2.
Happy ending. Ginny's a little crazy, and then again, because most of these are the same movie over and over again, 3 has the exact same ending, where the main girl is taken off hysterically.
So is that the only franchise that you guys can list as your favorite for his question? It's just Evil Dead.
Well, Evil Dead's a big one. I'm also a big Friday the 13th guy, obviously. Child's Play good. Nightmare on Elm Street's good. Scream.
Nightmare-
That's another big favorite.
Okay.
I'm a big
Scream
Scream
and Scream and Nightmare on Elm Street for slashers for me.
I'll throw out
Yep,
Saw.
those are
I love
some
the
good
Saw
ones.
movies.
Saw is fun too. Yeah.
And I'm a big Universal monster guy. I still haven't seen all of them, but I've seen a lot of them. I've seen all the Frankenstein movies. I've seen, the Mummy, Wolfman, etc. I'm a big Universal monster guy.
I need to see
think
more of
I need
those.
to
I've
see-
seen like the first entries and like the big ones.
Same
Mhm.
here. Yeah. I need to see
Same.
more of
Creature
those
from Black
before.
Lagoon.
I think those would rank pretty high for me. I just need to watch more of them.
That 4K transfer looks great, by the way. And if I can get my hands on that 4K, I will absolutely be buying it.
Cool. Maybe they'll put out a 4K steelbook.
Give it to me. I need it. Well, Robert, Noah, that was Friday the 13th. How are we feeling? That was Friday the 13th
Pretty good.
part 2.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Get out of here, Noah.
fine.
So, hey, Garrett
Jared,
says Psycho.
thank you. Psycho's great. Psycho 2 is amazing. 3 is
Oh,
good.
yeah.
4 is okay. Until you get to the remake, that is a good series.
That is a
Yeah.
franchise I need to see more of.
For the longest time, I didn't know that there were sequels to Psycho.
Yeah.
So I'm actually really intrigued to watch those.
At some point, I'll make you guys watch Psycho 2 because it's one of my favorite
Robert,
sequels.
for that horror thing that we were talking about, we should do Bates Motel at some point.
We should. That's a good choice. I like what I've seen of it. I do drop off at some point. I still need to finish that show, but I like.
Yeah,
what
I've
seen
never
of it.
finished it. The only thing I know about that is apparently the last season is just a Psycho remake with Rihanna.
Yeah, but I've also heard that they changed some stuff up. I've heard it's good. So
Yeah. No, I
curious
definitely
about
want to see it. I know Cap swears up and down about it. By it. Creature's out on 4K. It's in box 2. I mean, they put out about 8 of those now on 4K because they did the 2 box sets. I got the first one. I just haven't gotten the second one yet. What's
I've got
stupid,
them all on
if
Blu-ray.
I can complain, they did that first one, but it just has Frankenstein. Bride is on the second box set.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Gotta catch them all.
This isn't Pokemon, Noah. But I'm planning to watch the Omen movies this year. Maybe I'll try to squeeze in the Psycho movies, but we'll see. Yeah. Also, I love that even the poster is just like the first one again, but not quite. But the poster's not quite as good.
I think it's just like painted over because I think it's the same outline, but they just changed the knife to an axe.
Yeah, like who is that supposed to be?
I don't know. It's not Jason in this movie. Not their best poster.
Garrett
series has some good
says
posters.
Bates Motel is a great series. Season 5 is just okay though. I'm assuming that's the Psycho remake season.
Mhm.
My issue, because I've watched the first couple episodes because I bought it on Vudu. Like I'm finally gonna watch this. Is it's the Good Doctor kid?
You just think of that meme every time.
I can't
Yeah.
stop thinking of. I am a surgeon.
He's Charlie
He's
in
Charlie.
Tim Burton's Charlie and Chocolate Factory.
Yeah,
I
that's where I
have
know
not
him from.
seen that, and I don't want to.
Oh, I grew up with that movie.
And he's Spiderwick Chronicle boy.
Yeah,
I never saw that.
I haven't seen that movie.
Yeah.
I am but most importantly, he is a surgeon.
He's a surgeon. Dr. Han, he is a surgeon.
Dr. Han, I am a surgeon.
Everybody go home.
It's evolved into the memes, folks. But anyway, chat, as always, we appreciate you hanging out. Robert, Noah, it's been a pleasure. Mostly Robert, because Noah has no taste. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm the most right here.
You're not, but that's okay.
You're the most right wing? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that sounds about right. He has the concept of a plan.
Not to get political.
Anyway, next week is our normal Haven of Horror commentary, so we will be doing Pearl. Maybe X if we can squeeze it in, but we'll see. Not promising. And then we'll get back to reviews eventually. I don't know about you guys, but I'm finding these commentaries just to be a lot more fun right now.
Yeah, we've got a lot of commentaries planned for the end of the year. So.
Yeah.
We
So
can
get
focus
used to
on
it. It's going to be
those for now
commentaries
if you guys
for a
want.
while.
Yeah.
I can't take the Good Doctor seriously because of Bates Motel. That's
Yeah, that
fair.
makes sense. But
No, really. You'd think it would be
well-
the other way around.
yeah, we'll be back next Thursday for more Alien Isolation. We're still streaming that game.
Yes, we'll be back next Thursday. Noah will join us for one of them one of these days, but he just doesn't like
Maybe.
us. It's okay. No. But thank you guys for hanging out. This has been a blast. I always love getting to watch Friday the 13th. And I managed to squeeze 2 in today, Robert. Because I watched the first one.
Yeah,
I guess I could stop the timer.
I forgot this movie was so
Oh, the
long.
movie's still going. You don't know?
Yeah, it's like a Marvel movie. You need 20 minutes of credits.
Have a great night,
Sure.
everybody.
Oh my
And we will
God.
be back Thursday with Alien Isolation.
Later.